Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Preview, along with head coach Bryce Drew. This is Todd Eichow, and Coach, great week. 2 lopsided victories at home. And I want to start right there with what's going on at home. 24 straight wins at home, and most of them have been, 10 out of 11 this year have been by double digits. I think 7 of the 11 have been by 25 points or more. And one thing that I think separates this year's team, maybe this group, I would say, from the group of a few years ago that went to the NCAA tournament, is when you get teams on the ropes, you make a big run at the end of the first half, it seems to go through into the second half. And I think that's something that is not easy. A lot of teams, you see games, a lot of times teams up 15, 17, 18 points. That group a few years ago, they would be up 15 points. Next thing you know, it was a single-digit game. This year's team has been able to put teams away. Maybe you can touch a little bit on it's got to be easier for a coach not to it gets into the second half and the game becomes a blowout. But maybe that's something that's a little special about this year's team.
Yeah, we definitely definitely like those games that are like that. We love playing at home. Our crowd's been spectacular. Our students definitely gives us a lot of energy, during the games and throughout the games. And I think our guys done a really good job staying focused. Pretty much the things that you touched on, whether it's going into halftime or after halftime, be able to come out with a good mentality that they want to keep playing well. And I think we have a lot of size and a lot of depth with that, which helps. And we're playing 9 guys consistently, and to be able to keep throwing in fresh bodies is a big big positive for us.
Maybe wearing teams down a little bit too into the second half. You feel that way, like when you come out with a fresh body against guys who've been out on the court from their standpoint the whole game, maybe.
Hopefully, we think all 9 are capable of starting, and so we feel very good about having any of them out there. And we feel when we sub, we don't take any step down. We feel like our level still stays good.
When you look back at your half times 3 years ago, what you said and how you reacted with the players 3 years ago, and what's going on now, do you feel like different? Maybe you've changed a little bit as a coach, or maybe some of your approaches have changed. Maybe you've learned some of the things. Do you feel that's possible too?
It could be. As you go through the season, every team's different. I think you're accenting some of the same points, but some different points depending on personalities or strengths of that team. And we try to have goals throughout games, and so I think our guys have been very competitive in trying to reach those goals.
Yeah, and some of the goals, defensive-wise, rebounding-wise, you've challenged the kids that way, right? To keep them focused sometimes in blowout games.
And they've done a great job. They've done a great job really wanting to get better and wanting to improve. Okay,
just one game this week. I guess you kind of enjoyed maybe a little bit of time off. So when you keep winning, you want to keep playing. But as you hit February, sometimes a week off's okay, right?
It's been nice. We've gotten some good practice days in. Some guys have been banged up, so they haven't practiced, every day. We have a couple left before the game, so hopefully we can take another step up in some of our execution today.
The only game this week is UIC. It's on the road, so it's always more difficult. Obviously, you beat them soundly at home, but they do possess one of the best freshmen in the league, and Dikembe Dixon, who's really put up big numbers of late.
Tremendous offensive player, scores in a variety of ways. He's a tough matchup. Very thankful. Last time we played him, he didn't shoot as well as what he has been lately. So it's going to be a big challenge for us to try to keep him in check.
We talked about staying focused in games that are lopsided. Sometimes you got to stay focused when you go through the second time around in the schedule against teams you beat handily. For instance, you beat Youngstown State handily at their place. Now you play them at your place. These kids are 20, 21 years old. They understand what happened the first time. Sometimes not as easy to stay focused. They were focused, I thought, against Youngstown. You got to do the same thing against UIC. Can't overlook anybody, right?
Oh no, UIC's playing very well. We watched the film, and they're a different team than the first time we played them. And so at their place, they could have several more wins, especially at home. They've played very well. So they're coming off a win last week, so they're going to be very energized to start the game. So, hopefully, we'll come in focused and be able to play even better than what we did the first time we played.
All right. I guess the side note on the game is that Vashil Fernandez has an opportunity to set the school record for career block shots. Interestingly enough, he set an individual school record 2 years ago there 4 block shots. He's had a lot of block shots at UIC.
He's had a lot.
He only needs 2 to break the record, and it's a record that has stood for a long time, and it's a record that when Ritus Croft set it by a huge number, we probably thought this is a record. It's one of those records that's going to stand for 30, 40 years, who knows, and it shows what Vishila's done defensively in the last few years.
Tremendous. He's the anchor of our defense, and hopefully he'll be able to get it this Saturday.
Good luck.
Thanks.
For head coach Bryce Drew, this is Todd Eichow. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Basketball Preview.